So thank you so much for this opportunity. As I had mentioned earlier, my name is Mwaura Jacquelyn from the Kenya National Qualifications Authority, and it is an honor to be part of this forum, a forum where we have our institutions, right from TVCs, the vocational centers, national polytechnics, and even national players as well as regulators, so that we can address the concerns that are rising or coming up in education and training. So first and foremost, I'd like to extend the greetings from our able Director General, Dr. Alice Kande, who would have so much love to be part of this forum, but due to other official engagements, she could not be here. So receive her regards, and she's very much together with us. So I've been asked to just give an overview of our mandate as an authority. And to introduce this session, I'd just like to give like a brief history of what led to the actual formation of the Kenya National Qualifications Authority. So there's this sessional paper number 1 of 2005 that was established to reform and streamline education sector, as well as address developmental challenges that are being experienced in the 21st century and align the country's education goals with global standards. So this sessional paper number 1 of 2005 identified that there were core problems that were being experienced in education and training. So there was one, the lack of a coherent and unified quality-assured national qualification system. Each and every sector in education and training was doing their own things, all independently. There was no one unified overarching regulator that would guide and harmonize all these practices that were happening. And so that means that the education and training system was fragmented and with no clear pathways for learners to move between different types of qualifications. So from there, what happened? There were 3 things that happened. In the year 2005, there was the policy foundation that came into place. There was a quality human resource foundation was developed. Then in the year 2012, there was a legislative proposal that came into place. That is a bill for the Kenya National Qualifications Framework that proposed the legal structure for a national qualifications framework. So thereafter, in the year 2014, the legal mandate that enacted the formation of the KNQF Act number 22 of 2014, that thereafter established the Kenya National Qualifications Authority to implement and manage this national qualification framework that will come in place in the education and training sector in Kenya. And so now, with KNQA having been formed, then it led to the formation of the Kenya National Qualifications Framework. And what is this National Qualifications Framework that we are talking about? It is a learning, an outcome-based qualification framework that clearly highlights all levels of education and training, be it in the formal, the informal, or non-formal sector. The framework clearly stipulates the level descriptors, that is the knowledge, skills, and competencies for each and every learner or that a graduate should have before they complete their level of education and training outcomes. The learning outcomes are also clearly highlighted there. So the Kenya National Qualification Framework contains various sub-frameworks. That is the academic, the TVETA, the industry, and there's also the professional path that is currently there. So, and to operationalize the Kenya National Qualifications Framework, there was this review of the regulations that happened some time back. And these regulations had various objectives. Among these objectives, we have the national regulation and quality assurance of education and training in the country, promotion of lifelong learning, promotion of international mobility of qualifications across the globe, alignment of qualifications with international qualifications framework, and responsiveness of national qualifications to labor market needs, as well as providing flexible progression pathways for learners that they can progress from the lowest KNQF level, that is KNQF level 1, all the way to KNQF level 10, that is a doctorate. So with that being said, KNQA has made some significant milestones, and that includes the development of a national qualifications database. What is this database? This is a one-stop shop for qualifications for learners across all levels of education and training. And it is important to highlight that our national polytechnics have really taken up this role of registering as qualification awarding bodies, as well as registering their qualifications on the NQD, that is the National Qualifications Database. So we continuously urge you that if there are any updates that happen in your curriculum or more qualifications that you bring on board in your institutions, that you continuously update them on the National Qualifications Database so that it is a true reflection of what it is that your institution is offering to the learners. So other than the National Qualifications, the registration of national qualifications, the authority also has the mandate to align and validate national qualifications. What do I mean by aligning and validating national qualifications? We have learners from other countries who are coming into Kenya and they want to progress with their academic journey. So what do? We take these qualifications, we look at them, look at what it is that has packaged them, then we map them and align and map them to the Kenya National Qualifications Framework, so that now this learner will have like an entry point into this ecosystem of education and training in Kenya. And so that actually alludes to the point where Madam from Kirinyaga had mentioned about education tourism. So as an authority, we are actively playing that role of aligning and validating learners, aligning and mapping these qualifications for the learners from outside into the Kenyan ecosystem. So other than the alignment and validation of qualifications, as well as registration of qualifications into the national database, we also have the issue of monitoring the assessment of national qualifications. The Kenya National Qualifications Authority, being like an authority that should regulate education and training across all levels of education and training, that is be it in basic, in TVETA, as well as universities. We do monitor the assessment of national qualifications for all qualification awarding bodies. This is all in the spirit of quality assurance of national qualifications. And then, so for us to realize or to operationalize the National Qualifications Framework, we've developed quite a number of policies and standards. Some are still in the process of development and others are awaiting for approval, and yet we still have others that have already been operationalized. I'll just mention a few. This is the famous Kenya Credit Accumulation and Transfer Policy that we are all eagerly waiting for so that it can take shape. We also have the recognition of prior learning, the quality assurance policy. We also have a Kenyan National Qualifications Classification Standard. This is a standard that we use when we are mapping our qualifications onto the National Qualifications Database. We use this unique identifier that has been referenced to the ISCED-F as well as the ISCED-A, the Kenyan National Qualifications Framework, as well as the academic orientation of our programs, so that it assigns a unique code to our qualifications that we use to register on our database. We also have a policy on micro-credentials that is actually being developed as we speak, and it is a multi-sectorial engagement. We also have the registration and accreditation policy. So with that being said, I'd like to continuously urge our QABs, just like I had said, to register their qualifications and to register as QABs, register their qualifications on the database, and then thereafter, the final process is the issue of uploading your learners or graduates' data onto that database. Each one of us, the heads of our institutions, please take that upon yourselves, consolidate your data, let us have the data for these graduates compiled so that you can update them on our database. That database will be like a one-stop shop. Everyone from wherever in the globe, once they key in your graduate to see how this learner has progressed from one to another. And that will actually even market our institutions to everyone nationally and internationally. Then, last but not least, I'd like to say that the future of the qualifications ecosystem is about creating a respected pathways that develop required for Kenya's future economy. We should not only be asking ourselves what it is that we are doing as regulators, but we call upon all to embrace this new mindset where we have skills and competence that are valued, as well as the academic achievements that are being produced in our training institutions. We are moving to a time where every skill will count, every qualification will have, and every learner will have an opportunity. So thank you so much, Chair, and I now hand the mic over to my brother.
Thank you, Jacquelyn.